Distinguished panel and informed audience. By this time, a lot of jargon and behind the scene issues have been rolled out about this particular topic, DBT. I would want to take up 2 minutes on each of the pillars of DBT and give some perspectives and also some interesting snippets from the field. So as Pandey sir brought out in the very first instance that DBT has 3 pillars. Well, the benefits of schemes are to go to beneficiaries, and all of us, or these 3 pillars plus other nuts and bolts who are facilitating these 3 pillars, have to work in tandem and achieve this objective. So for transferring the benefits, you have a database of beneficiaries, and you need to have the bank account. Now, as Naveen pointed out, even before Aadhaar, these benefits were being transferred to these bank accounts. Luckily, Aadhaar came in between, and it has facilitated the unique identification of that particular person through his biometrics. The first pillar, I'm very fortunate to be working in Maharashtra, where enabling environment has been created by Rajesh Agarwal sir and Pandey sir's UID team, and we are now #1 in the country. Along with Maharashtra, my company also is now #1 in the country in terms of Aadhaar enrollments. We have already done about 3.5 crore enrollments. So we have already captured 3.5 crore biometrics, and with that those credentials, I am also through Common BC RFP. We are a common BCA agency for Maharashtra and Rajasthan. As part of that project, we will be rolling out interoperable NPCI transacted BCAs in 27,000 Gram Panchayats of Maharashtra and 9,000 Gram Panchayats of Rajasthan. In terms of the progress, because of there were confusions and plethora of issues in terms of what technologies and how will it be done, finally those issues are settling down, as you might have as it is coming out from various agencies. And to begin with, first 11 districts of Maharashtra are like priority FI districts. In those districts, we have already done integrations with Bank of Maharashtra, MGM, Bank of Baroda, PNB, SBI, Central Bank. So 80% of our outlets are covered by these banks. And first pillar, coming to the first pillar, which is UIDI, some very interesting issues. One is, what is Aadhaar? So just want to give you some interesting incident so that everyone, at least from this room, goes out with a clear concept. One Nepalese citizen was intercepted at Delhi airport with an Aadhaar card. So what is anomalous here? Can anyone from the audience? A Nepalese citizen was intercepted at Delhi airport with an Aadhaar card, and the intelligence agency forwarded this case to UIDI and investigate. So the simple answer is, because Aadhaar is a residency number, it's not a citizenship number. So anybody who has a proof of residence in this country and a proof of identity, he gets an Aadhaar, as simple as that. So even after 3 years, this basic confusion is not clear, that as long as somebody has a residency proof, he can obtain an Aadhaar number. He should be having a residency within the country. That's it. The other interesting thing about Aadhaar, I would want to take back to, and I would want to like.
Focus on FI component.
Yes, I'm coming to that. See, now as far as after listening to all the distinguished panel, I would want to ask the audience that what do you see as the biggest challenge of the DBT? I think it's very clear from all the presentations that seeding has become the biggest challenge. And now I would want to take you a little back in time. When Aadhaar enrollments were designed, the form were designed, let's go and look back what all fields are there in the form. So, it's very interesting to note that this seeding was already built in, inherently provided with the Aadhaar enrollment. And although I was not part of those deliberations, some very few fields were designed in that form. And two very important fields are, do you want to link your existing bank account with Aadhaar number? And second question was, do you want to open a bank account to be linked with this Aadhaar number? Unfortunately, so the system was created. There were to be two packets. One was the UIDI packet, and other one was a registrar packet. And along with the state government agencies, all the bankers were registrars. And these registrar packets were meant to be, they were all encrypted packets, and they had this information that what is the bank account number of that particular person, and his EID was already there in that packet. So we had a EID bank account database. Once we get UIDI, we used to get EID, UID mapping from UIDI. We need to just pull those Excel sheets into the database, and we had, for a large number of people, we would have had bank account numbers. So my request is, because it was not insisted upon, those packets were lying just there as registrar packets. In phase 2, even UIDI made those registrar packets as not mandatory, and we are not looking into those packets as to who is requesting, because no one is looking into them. Even EAs have, or operators on the field, they have stopped asking for those bank account numbers. In my opinion, the easiest thing to do that seeding is at the enrollment level. I think Naveen will agree with this, that when a person is coming for enrollment, just at that time, if we ask him what is his bank account number and what is his ration card number, that was part of the KYR plus, which may be like KYR plus. They were like 32 schemes, so may not be practical at the enrollment level to note down the beneficiary IDs for all those schemes. But bank account number was just one. So even now, when we see that 70% of the rural population, or the population which is to be covered for beneficiaries, is in rural areas where enrollments are still to be done. I think it is not late even now that we should kind of reinvigorate that process and insist upon getting bank account numbers right at the enrollment stage. We have done our own bit.
Focus only on how are your bases going to be viable. What are the steps you have to take?
Okay. So one major question being deliberated is viability of BCS. Whatever BCs have become operational as PV for a lot of G2C services like permanent Aadhaar enrollment center, then railway bookings, as it has been pointed out. Then even there has been a tie-up with Election Commission for issuing new election ID cards from these centers. Apart from that, we are also aggregating the B2C services where we have become corporate agents for LIC and many other B2C services. Even at those centers we are doing bookings for purchase of tractors or Tata Ace vehicles. So that all those multifarious activities putting together is actually aimed at bringing viability to those centers. And that is our approach. And I can just, if I can read out the list of items which we are going to put at these centers. So the biggest challenges were at the last mile end, it was power supply and connectivity. So in spite of all the cellular network rollout, we still do not get kind of connectivity required to make these transactions successful. So eventually we decided to go with a VSAT network wherever the data cards are not working. So I am happy to inform that in Jawar Taluka of Maharashtra, all 50 Gram Panchayats we have set up VSATs and all our BCAs are operational now. So this is our approach towards making them viable. Yeah.